Right now at 5, Missouri has some encouraging news for families who rely on the WIC program.
And we've got a better day ahead of us. We've got clouds gradually decreasing, a little warmer as well, and some really good news, not nearly as windy. We'll have a look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, voters in Chanute will soon head to the polls to decide on a new sales tax.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now Thursday, October 30th. You know what that means?
Halloween.
Thursday.
It's Thursday. But also Halloween tomorrow.
Halloween,
That's
yes.
also what it means.
Yes, it does. So hopefully everybody is ready for Halloween out there. I'm not looking forward to being up early and staying up late, but the kids enjoy it. Plus, I get some of the candy, so yeah, it's a win. It's a win-win situation there, for sure.
You know, I'm at the point in my life I don't have kids yet to take trick or treating. I mean, I guess I could try with my cats, but I feel like we wouldn't get much candy because I feel like people would just close the door and be like, no.
Okay, crazy cat ladies here. Yeah, what's going on?
That's the costume.
Even that's how it works. That's how it works. Do want to take a quick moment. I know a lot of you folks, you've probably seen the announcement regarding Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty, and it's just odd timing. And I'm going to remind you as well tomorrow. I know some folks won't get the message. I am taking a 2-week vacation.
Much deserved time off.
It's just coincidence that it's lining up with that. I'm not leaving. I'm not going anywhere. But if you tune in the next couple of weeks, you don't see me, don't worry. Whether it's good news or bad news, I'm coming back. Yes. But I will be taking an extended leave, and then I will return. So don't panic. I will return to the KOAM Morning News in a couple of weeks. But I still have today, tomorrow to get through, and then I'm going to sleep for 2. I'm going to hibernate for 2 weeks.
Some much-deserved time off.
It's going to be good, and hopefully you've got some time this weekend or any other time to enjoy. It's not going to be too bad. A little warmer today. Let's go take a look outside from downtown Pittsburgh. Things are looking pretty good out there so far. We got some clouds. Honestly, on my drive in, I did not see that many clouds. I saw a lot more stars, but we still have some cloud cover out there. Some will kind of build back in, and then eventually it will clear back out. Of course, 7th and range line looks good. MoDOT camera 20th and range line looks a little hazy. I didn't check the fog tracker recently, but maybe we do have some. We'll take a look at that. What we do have is frost advisories, and again, some of these expire at 8, but the latest of these run through 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Of course, they're not in effect right now. They'll go into effect early tomorrow morning and run through about 9 a.m., so something to keep in mind out there. By the time we hit the lunch hour, again, we continue to clear with partly cloudy skies, and eventually, by 3, 4 o'clock, we have clear skies, and it will remain that way through the evening and into the overnight hours. Pretty straightforward, pretty calm day, especially after all the rain and wind and cold weather we've had. It's a bit chilly out there, still below normal, some upper 30s and low 40s across the area. And although the winds aren't nearly as gusty, there is a light breeze. So we do have some wind chills. We got Yates Center. It feels like 33 right now. Most of us, the wind chills right around the mid-30s, so not significant, but still cold for sure. So you'll want that jacket heading out the door. I didn't take the rain off. It's not going to rain, I promise. We're going to go 39 as kids head out the door. We'll go 51, lunch and recess, 57 as they head home. And our forecast into the morning, low 40s by 9, low 50s by noon. Like I said, not significantly warmer, still below normal, but more sunshine. Upper 50s with a northwest breeze at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Again, we will warm a little more for Halloween. We're going to break down the Halloween forecast for you and the upcoming weekend here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. Missouri WIC families get reassurance today. Their benefits will continue at least a little bit longer. The state confirms Missouri WIC benefits will extend into November despite federal funding challenges. In a news release, the state says cost-saving measures Missouri implemented at the beginning of October have allowed the state to extend the benefits to WIC families longer. The Missouri WIC program provides supplemental food, health care, referrals, nutrition education, and breastfeeding support to qualifying women, infants, and children up to the age of 5. Fathers, grandparents, guardians, and foster parents may also apply for benefits for the children living in their household. According to the release, Missouri WIC families are encouraged to continue to attend appointments and redeem benefits using their WIC cards until further notice. Thousands of people in Southwest Missouri receive WIC benefits. The Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services says in 2024, WIC benefits went to 1,100 people in Vernon County, more than 500 in Barton County, more than 5,000 people in Jasper County, and more than 2,300 in Newton County, and nearly 1,400 people in McDonald County. Due to government funding cuts, our local pantries are working harder than ever to meet the growing needs of our neighbors. We're kicking off Feed the Four States campaign early this year to help. Scan this QR code to donate. Your donation goes to a pantry near you. A proposal on next week's ballot in Chanute, Kansas would add a small sales tax, and city leaders say it could play a big role in the community's growth. KLAM's Blake Goley explains the proposal.
Chanute city leaders say the proposed 0.15% city sales tax could help the community's economy continue to grow. The measure would direct the funding toward local development efforts with a focus on bringing and keeping businesses in town.
The purpose of the sales tax would be 100% to fund the Chanute Regional Development Authority. They would use that for the recruitment, retention of new and existing businesses, and also for their daily operations.
The mayor says the proposal is separate from the quarter-cent sales tax voters renewed in 2023, which supports maintenance and infrastructure projects. He believes the new tax is vital to sustaining economic growth and attracting more opportunities to Chanute.
I think it'd be very difficult for the city to fund economic development in our current state. So passing of this question and having that confidence within the city is absolutely vital for that continued growth and development.
If approved, the new sales tax will take effect in April 2026 and last for 5 years. Reporting in Chanute, Blake Gully, KOAM News.
Voters will decide on that measure on Tuesday. Well, that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. President Trump meets face-to-face with Chinese President Xi Jinping after his week-long Asia trip. Plus, Elsbeth tackles a Halloween night mystery with a frightening discovery. The CBS spooky programming lineup later tonight. And cool and cloudy conditions across the 4 states. Chris has a look at your forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Topping World Watch, President Trump is on his way back to Washington, hours after his high-stakes meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping. The president described the nearly 2-hour-long meeting as, quote, friendly, and announced that the two leaders could be close to signing a trade deal after reaching an understanding on multiple outstanding issues. President Trump says he plans to go to China sometime in April of next year. Ahead of the meeting, the president also announced plans to ramp up U.S. nuclear weapon testing. CBS News' Jared Hill has more from New York.
President Trump wrapped up his week-long trip to Asia with a much-anticipated face-to-face with Chinese President Xi Jinping.
I think we're going to have a fantastic relationship for a long period of time.
At the top of the high-stakes sit-down, the Chinese leader acknowledged that the world's 2 largest economies don't always see eye to eye, but noted a need for some cooperation.
I always believe that China's development goes hand in hand with your vision to make America great again.
After the nearly 2-hour-long meeting, President Trump told reporters the two countries could sign a trade deal soon, announcing plans to immediately cut its extra tariff on Chinese goods from 20% to 10%, after Beijing agreed to do more to stop the flow of chemicals used to make fentanyl. But few other details, as Trump signaled they'd settled issues over China's rare earth mineral exports, and that the two discussed computer chips and China restarting U.S. soybean purchases, a move that would help struggling American farmers.
We're losing money, and it's a very desperate time.
Ahead of the meeting, President Trump wrote on social media that he's directed the Pentagon to conduct nuclear weapons tests. It follows North Korea's announcement that it test-launched cruise missiles a day earlier, as well as recent missile tests by Russia. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Despite his threats to resume nuclear weapon tests, President Trump last night pushed for denuclearization and repeated his interest in meeting with North Korea's leader, saying that a busy schedule prevented it during this trip. The president also told reporters that he and the Chinese president have agreed to work together to try and end Russia's war on Ukraine. Still to come, doctors practice stroke scenarios with actors at NYU Lagoon's simulation lab. Plus, cool and cloudy conditions. Chris has a look at your Thursday forecast. Harry Styles heads to Vegas and Sydney Sweeney steps into the ring. Gwen Baumgarten has your Eye on Entertainment report.
Oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, have I got a treat for you.
Sydney Sweeney is back and stronger than ever, stepping into the role and ring as famed boxer Christy Martin in Christy. It shows the adversity and domestic violence Martin faced while becoming a trailblazer in the sport.
One of the biggest things we talk about on set is to be Christy strong, and I really hope that she inspires other people to be as strong as she was.
Christy heads to theaters next Friday. Harry, is that you? A wax figure of Harry Styles, tattoos and all, is now on display in Las Vegas. It took 9 months to construct this life-size mold of the singer-songwriter, and it's now available for viewing at the city's Madame Tussauds Museum. CBS is going full Halloween a day early. Tonight, Let's Make a Deal kicks off with special guests and 2 days of tricks and treats. In the evening, the aptly named show, Ghosts, takes a spooky turn.
You got the real deal right here, baby. We're ghosts.
The cast, along with their haunted mansion, is now in their 5th season. And Elsbeth is on the case for a Halloween night mystery and a frightening discovery.
Now, if you'll excuse me, these nice suburban ladies freak me out.
Catch each of today's Halloween episodes on CBS and Paramount+. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Gwen Baumgartner, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Sometimes those seasonal episodes are definitely the most fun to watch. Well, now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, again, we are cold out there to start. We've got temperatures into the 30s and thankfully, though, not nearly as windy. Got a pretty decent day lined up, still below average, but a little more sunshine. Break down details. Take a look at your Halloween forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Time now, 5:16. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:19 on this Thursday morning. 1 day left until Halloween. A little bit spooky for some folks this morning. So we got some patchy fog out there. Nothing major, but we do have some reduced visibilities. Iola, Chanute, Yates Center, Parsons, Pittsburgh, Joplin, Carthage, Mount Vernon, back toward Cassville. So you can kind of see where there's this kind of a band of some patchy fog out there. So again, low beams, not your high beams. Fog lights if you've got them. This is what they're for. And of course, slow down. Remember what we've discussed with the fog tracker and how it relies on point data. Just a few days ago, you recall we had fog on parts of I-44, but there was no fog showing up because the nearest reporting stations didn't have any fog being reported. So you want to watch out for that and also be aware for that potential for rapidly changing visibilities. In terms of tender vegetation, you just want to keep an eye on as we got some frost advisories that go into effect early tomorrow morning, and the latest of these will run through 9 a.m. So Washington County, Oklahoma, Chautauqua, Elk, Greenwood, Coffee, Anderson, and Lynn counties in the southeast Kansas out there, something to keep in mind. Outside of that, though, there's not much on the future track. We'll have skies, excuse me, I don't know what that was. Skies gradually clearing as we head through the day. Clear skies by the late afternoon and evening hours. Clear skies overnight tonight, hence that frost potential. Most of Halloween pretty good, a mix of mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. And as we go into the evening, still unchanged from yesterday, clouds begin to increase across the area. A future track suggesting perhaps a shower or two for Saturday early morning, something we'll keep an eye on. But otherwise, we're still looking pretty good out there as we head into the upcoming weekend. So, how does Halloween look? We're going to get to that in just a moment. How does your Thursday look? It looks about like this. So, mostly cloudy skies to start. Gradual clearing taking place. Now, remember, the skies clear. Some of you will get sunshine earlier than others. We'll go upper 30s by 8, upper 40s by 11 o'clock this morning. Our highs today, again, below normal, but warmer than yesterday. Man, yesterday was a chilly day, and then that wind, even when the wind eased up a bit, still an unpleasant afternoon. We're looking at upper 50s, maybe some low 60s in our southern counties. Northwest winds 5 to 10, not 20 to 40 or anything like that, so not bad. And again, sunshine as we head into the late afternoon and evening. Well, no sunshine overnight, you know what I mean. Clear skies, that's what we're talking about. Mid 40s by 10, upper 30s again tonight, and we'll have those winds out of the west at 5 to 10. If you are trick-or-treating, you do want to be prepared for the fact that it's going to be a bit on the cold side, so keep that in mind. Initially, though, not bad. It doesn't happen until late in the evening that our temperatures begin to drop, so mid 50s by 7, low 50s by 8 and 9. And like I said, clouds increase, but we're otherwise expected to be dry. If you're going out any later than that, you still want to make sure you got a jacket handy. And maybe, again, if you don't like the cold or your kids don't like the cold too much, I don't know, 50s isn't cold, but you might want to throw on something a little warmer underneath that Halloween costume. After that, not bad. Low 60s again tomorrow, mid-50s for Saturday, mid-50s on Sunday. Clear skies into the start of next week. And again, some conflicting data there on exactly how much warming will do. You remember yesterday we were into the upper 60s, and now it's showing back to the 70s. A couple of days ago it was the 70s. But we do look to warm up in the first week of November, but it should be short-lived. Another system, a few rain chances next Friday, put our temperatures back down into the 50s by next Saturday. Let's check your forecast. I'm going to send it over to Samantha now with Health Watch.
Thanks, Chris. Stress seems to go hand in hand with parenting. Many parents say a big source of their stress is feeling that their children do not listen to them. Experts have some advice. They say using the XYZ technique to target the behavior and not the person may help parents communicate more effectively.
You're not character assassinating, you're focusing on the behavior. In situation X, when you did Y, I felt Z. You're making it about a situation and the impact it had on you.
Experts say the sandwich technique also goes a long way. That's when you praise your child, nudge them with a correction, and end with encouragement to help them feel capable and not criticized. The risk of heart attacks and stroke rises significantly in the weeks after catching the flu or COVID. A UCLA study found both the flu and COVID, as well as chronic infections like HIV, raise the risk for serious cardiovascular events. Researchers say the study highlights how critical it is to get vaccinated for flu and COVID. More than 4 in 5 women don't seek medical care for symptoms of menopause. A Mayo Clinic study found a third of women report feeling moderate to very severe menopause symptoms, with sleep disturbances and weight gain being the most common issues. Researchers say there are safe and effective treatments available, but too often menopause symptoms go unrecognized and ignored. We know that sitting too long isn't good for your health, but what may help is a cup of hot chocolate. A University of Birmingham study found that the flavorful rich foods like cocoa, tea, berries, and apples can help improve vascular function in men who are spending far for too long periods during the day. Sedentary behavior can lead to higher risk of heart disease and strokes. On this World Stroke Day, experts are emphasizing that treating strokes immediately is critical, which means recognizing the early warning signs is key. Now a new study is helping patients get the care they need sooner, using actors to simulate real-life scenarios for hospital staff. Michael George has more.
What's going on? This woman's husband brought her to the emergency room.
This has been going on for like 45 minutes.
With signs of stroke.
Can you give me a big smile?
But the couple are actually actors. This is the simulation lab at NYU Langone Hospital, Long Island, where healthcare providers practice real-life stroke scenarios to see how quickly they can recognize the warning signs and act.
To identify knowledge gaps, address those knowledge gaps, and then work through the processes in a very safe environment where patients don't get harmed.
The patient in this scenario is experiencing a type of stroke which can be treated with a clot-busting drug or a procedure to remove the clot. Dr. Levi Digert and his team are watching as these neurology residents respond.
Part of the simulation is actually not only to recognize that they're having a stroke, but they're having a stroke that could be amendable to this new treatment, which is mechanical thrombectomy.
And research shows the program is reducing the time from when the patient comes in to getting the treatment.
We went from 90 minutes to 80 minutes. And we know that in the world of stroke, 10 minutes makes all the difference. It means you can get out of the hospital sooner, recover faster.
We're going to reach out to our neuro IR team and let them know that this possibly could be a stroke.
Fawaz Siddiqui says the simulations are helping him build a foundation to apply to his future patients.
All of it works to make you a better physician, better resident, and obviously improve patient outcomes.
Vision was going in and out. I had a huge headache at that point, and I couldn't talk.
The research hits home for Andrew Cunningham. He suffered a stroke last year at just 27.
There's no really other deficits that I do have besides the slurred speech and random headaches that I do have.
He credits getting the right care right away for his remarkable recovery. Michael George, CBS News.
That's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 5:30, a Joplin garage sells cars for just $500 to help people get to work.
And we've got some patchy fog out there. You can see a little bit of that from 7th and Range Line. And you got a cold start to the day as well. Look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, Pitt State's automotive program receives a major boost in learning about dairy and livestock operations.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:29. I'm Samantha Walker.
Hi, Chris Warner. It is Thursday, October 30th. Of course, tomorrow is Halloween. Hopefully, you are prepared for spooky season.
Yes.
You've had some time to get ready. I know it's kind of snuck up on us, I feel like, but hopefully you are ready, and hopefully you're ready to be warm. Mm-hmm. Because it's not too warm this morning. It's not going to be too warm tomorrow morning either. It's a little cool out there.
Hopefully your costume is able to either be warm or have a coat on it and not, ruin too much of the fun.
Well, depending on the costume too. Maybe you can put on some layers underneath. Something to stay a little warmer out there. And thankfully, you're not trick-or-treating early in the morning like this morning because it's pretty darn cold. Let's start with our live look from downtown Pittsburgh. Looking pretty good in Pittsburgh. We do have some patchy fog out there. Our camera 7th and Range Line, it's not super noticeable, but there is a bit of a haze. You can actually see it slightly better here from MoDOT camera 20th and Range Line. It's not overly dense, but there is some patchy fog. We also have frost advisories. Now, these go into effect early tomorrow morning and run through at least 9. So Washington County, Oklahoma, and then we have Chautauqua, Elk, Greenwood, Coffee, Anderson, and Lynn counties in southeast Kansas where these frost advisories will be for tomorrow morning. Here's a look at that fog, and really it's almost been running just this belt right through here from northwest to southeast. So Cassville, Mount Vernon, Carthage, Joplin, Pittsburgh, Parsons, Chanute, Yates Center, and Iola with some reduced visibilities. Miami's getting down there as well. So is Fort Scott. And you can see some fog building up into parts of southern Delaware County, western Benton County. So just watch out there. Low beams, not your high beams. Fog lights if you've got them. Have some mostly cloudy skies to start. Then skies will gradually clear across the area as we head into the afternoon and evening. And by the mid-afternoon and evening hours, we will have clear skies out there. So not a bad day. Not as warm as we should be, but warmer than yesterday. A little below normal this morning. We've got some upper 30s and low 40s across the region. And the wind is lighter, but still that light breeze. As temperatures fall, it doesn't take much of a breeze to generate that wind chill. Look at Yates Center right now. Feels like it's 31. So a pretty cold start for some of us. Others, again, the wind is light enough that it's not having a significant impact, but 30 degrees, well, 30s, that's still pretty darn cold out there. So kids heading out the door, they're going to want that coat for sure. Go 39 as they head out the door, 51 for lunch and recess, 57, and clear skies when they head home. We'll go low 40s by 9, low 50s by noon, and our highs today, upper 50s, could get to a couple of lower 60s in our southern counties. Northwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. So all in all, again, not a bad day at all. Halloween's still looking pretty good. Got some clouds out there, maybe some showers early Saturday. Details on all of that here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. Having a car can be very important. It can be the vehicle to get a person from the life they have to the life they want. KOAM's Ty Parks pulled into the Higher Power Garage in Joplin where they're helping people break some barriers.
Transportation is a barrier that many people have trouble getting across.
Think about it. If you live in Carl Junction or Webb City and you need a good job, the good paying jobs are in the industrial parks or the commerce centers of the town. Very few low-income housing is in those areas. So to get to those jobs is a challenge.
Higher Power Garage has a work program where people can apply to overcome that critical barrier. There are income requirements and classes the person is required to attend. Once a car becomes available, they can buy it for $500.
What we're doing is trying to build a sustainable system for these families to where they no longer have transportation as a barrier, so that they can get the good jobs that have the good benefits that provide for their families the way they need to be provided for.
Amber Cross is one of the families receiving a car today. She tells KOAM what life was like without a car.
It's been a process. So for the last 9 years, it's been off and on, where I've only had a car, I think, twice through the process. And then just working with building bridges and having my support team is what led me to get to Higher Power Garage to get a car. Yes, and even just going on outings is going to be a big deal. Instead of walking with the kids, it's going to be a big deal just going to a park or just going to walking trails.
In Joplin, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
Ohio Power Garage says they require the cars to be purchased to give a sense of ownership to the buyers. Well, Case New Holland is giving Pittsburgh State University's automotive technology program a major boost, donating equipment worth nearly $300,000. The mid-sized tractor is aimed at dairy and livestock operations, using methane produced from the livestock as fuel. Representatives from CNH joined students and instructors to celebrate the donation. Wizards, superheroes, and dinosaurs take over the parking lot of Children's Haven in Joplin yesterday for a trunk-or-treat event. Students from the Crowder College Surgical Technology program helped hand out treats to all the boys and ghouls. The Halloween celebration provided fun for the community and for kids at the facility that provides safe care to area children while their families resolve crises.
We have several children here today who come each year with special needs, and this is just a safe environment. It's not dark and scary. It's here in a safe place, and so they're having a good time together with us.
Is the smiles. Honestly, it sounds cheesy. It really does, but they come up and they're so happy to see us, and it's a really sweet thing.
Children's Haven has served the Joplin community since 2003, offering temporary shelter at no cost to families facing difficult times. Democratic and Republican lawmakers continue to debate when and how to reopen the government. The shutdown is now in its 29th day. At the heart of today's debate, SNAP food benefits. If the government doesn't reopen by November 1st, this coming Saturday, the Department of Agriculture says food assistance benefits will stop for 40 million Americans. There's a cautious sense of optimism surrounding food assistance programs right now in Missouri, and we'll get to that story in just a moment. But first, Olivia Ghazi has the report from Washington, D.C.
Lawmakers on Capitol Hill are facing off over the SNAP food assistance benefits that the Department of Agriculture says will expire on Saturday if the government does not reopen. Democratic leaders say the administration is acting recklessly in refusing to tap into the $5 billion contingency fund that Congress previously approved to keep the food aid program going.
Donald Trump has made the decision to let people across this country go hungry. Trump is telling 15 million hungry children, eat dirt.
Republicans say Democrats are at fault for refusing to reopen the government.
SNAP recipients shouldn't go without food. People should be getting paid in this country. And we've tried to do that 13 times. And you voted no 13 times. This isn't a political game. These are real people's lives that we're talking about.
More than 24 states are now suing to force the administration to continue to fund the SNAP program.
President Trump was asked about SNAP benefits during his trip to Asia and said that they would, in his words, get it done, but not until the government is reopened.
All they have to do is say, let's get back to business, and we're back. There's nothing to sign, there's nothing to negotiate.
While the political debate continues, food banks around the nation are struggling to keep up with demand.
People that are just anticipating that they're going to lose these resources, and they're trying to be proactive.
Thursday will mark day 30 of the government shutdown. Olivia Gazis, CBS News, Washington.
As of yesterday, there were reported signs of progress on ending the government shutdown for the first time in weeks, with senators expressing cautious optimism about bipartisan talks. Well, that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News.
Halloween's approaching fast, but it's not too late to get a costume. I'm Kenny Foreman, and I'll show you where you can go coming up.
Plus, the Fed cuts rates to the lowest level since 2022, but recession signals flash warning. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. In Consumer Watch, the Federal Reserve cut its benchmark interest rate by 1/4 percentage point Wednesday, bringing it to its lowest rate since 2022. Though Fed Chairman Jerome Powell cautioned that the move signaled that the central bank could slow down rate cuts, citing risks in the labor market. Recently, several major companies announced layoffs, including UPS, Target, Amazon, and Paramount, parent company of CBS News. ADP says private sector payroll shrank by 32,000 jobs last month. Nvidia is now the first publicly listed company to pass $5 trillion in value after the tech giant stocks rose 4.5% on Wednesday. It comes amid an artificial intelligence boom, with demand surging for the company's computer chips. Earlier this week, Nvidia announced a partnership with another tech firm, Oracle, to build AI supercomputers for the energy department, and also a $1 billion investment in Nokia to develop a 6G AI platform. Earlier this week, Nvidia announced for a partnership with another tech firm, Oracle, to build AI supercomputers for the energy department as well. And Dunkin' has unveiled its 2025 holiday menu. It includes new treats like the cookie butter cloud latte, the ultimate bacon jam breakfast sandwich, and the raspberry striped croissant. The chain is also bringing back favorites, the peppermint mocha and toasted white chocolate signature lattes. Starting November 1st, Dunkin' is offering rewards members seasonal savings on menu items every day through the end of December. Halloween is approaching fast, but there's still time to get a costume. KOAM's Kenny Foreman gives us an inside look at a one-stop shop for all your spooky needs.
For the past 25 years, Spooky Jake's here in Pittsburgh has opened its doors to partygoers and trick-or-treaters of all ages looking for last-minute costumes and accessories for an affordable price.
The last month has been the whole season, but it's been pretty steady. It's like most seasonal businesses, the closer you get to Halloween, people understand they have to go get their costume, or they need to go find the accessories for their costume.
Having a place where Halloween items are easily accessible for an entire month is important, especially when you consider that there's no such thing as too old for Halloween.
The university's having lots of different Halloween type functions. We see a lot of students come through, or if the schools are having different Halloween parties, we see those customers come through. And then there's a lot of adult parties where adults are coming through to buy their wigs.
And a supportive staff makes it even easier for people to find what they're looking for.
The people that run the place are very friendly. They helped us out a lot with the door decals and with the costs and stuff. And honestly, everything's really cheap and the selection is just outstanding.
Being that Halloween is a seasonal business, the store aims to make sure its customers remember the name year after year.
Our goal is to be able to sell more and make more profit, but most importantly bring the selection to the customer so they know where they want to come next year when they start their shopping process for Halloween or items to help them celebrate Halloween.
In Pittsburgh, Kenny Foreman, KOAM News.
Spooky Jake's will remain open through Halloween. Operated by Jake's Fireworks, the business sells seasonal items during Memorial Day, the 4th of July, and Christmas. Well, that's it for Consumer Watch, and now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got a live look out there downtown Pittsburgh, looking pretty good. We do have some patchy fog, a little bit chilly this morning. A full look at your forecast when we come back.
It's the day many soybean farmers in the U.S. have waited for, the day China would finally make a buy. An update in today's Ag Day Minute.
I'm Clinton Griffiths with today's Ag Day Minute. Ahead of Thursday's meeting between President Trump and Chinese President Xi, it was announced that China finally purchased multiple ships of U.S. soybeans. Now, Ag Day has confirmed that so far 3 cargoes of soybeans have been sold. They represent the first U.S. soybean sales to China of new crop beans so far this year. Now, President Trump has been upbeat as of late about striking a deal with China, which could be announced on Thursday. And it's hoped this will be the first of many purchases included in a new China trade framework. Now, China is the world's top soybean buyer. It has already secured large volumes from Brazil this year. Mexico's agriculture minister says his country and the U.S. have not yet set a date to resume Mexican cattle imports. It follows another recent outbreak of New World screwworm, a flesh-eating parasite found in Mexico. Now, the ag minister saying he spoke with U.S. Ag Secretary Brooke Rollins and that they have made progress but still haven't set a date for reopening the U.S. border. The news sparking a rally for U.S. cattle markets on Wednesday. And lots of people like to dress up as cows for Halloween. Well, here's a cow with their own costume. Meet Oliver, who looks like a very friendly little ghost. Oliver posed proudly beside a big pumpkin, ready for his moment in the spotlight and a chance to wish everyone a happy Halloween. For more Ag News, watch Ag Day weekdays on the station or get updates over at agweb.com.
Now let's take it over to Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got a pretty spooky start for some folks out there. I don't know if any of the cows in our area are dressed for Halloween, but we do have some fog, so we've got reduced visibility. It's so far been following this little path from northwest to southeast, so Yates Center, Iola, Chanute, Parsons, Pittsburgh, Joplin, Carthage, and down toward Cassville, Mount Vernon, some reduced visibilities. And again, as we've discussed, remember the fog tracker relies on point data, so if there's a gap or there's not a reporting station in an area, it may not necessarily show that fog. So watch out for the potential for rapidly changing visibilities as well. Of course, low beams, not your high beams, and fog lights if you have them. This is what it's for. I see so many folks, again, I know I've said it 100 times, but so many people on the drive-in at 3 a.m. that have their fog lights on a clear morning, and all it does is just make it even brighter. You know, just that's what they're for. It's the fog. That's why they're called fog lights. Okay, end of that story. Now, on to this. Frost advisories. They go into effect early tomorrow morning and run through the latest at 9. So we got Washington County in northeast Oklahoma, and then we have Chautauqua, Elk, Greenwood, Coffee, Anderson, and Lynn counties in southeast Kansas with these frost advisories in effect out there. So just keep that in mind. Could get a little colder in those areas, and we're expecting some pretty cold temperatures. We already got some this morning. A lot of us into the upper 30s, low 40s. The wind is much lighter, so our wind chills aren't as bad, but earlier Yates Center was reporting a wind chill 31. So again, a cold start to the day. And we're going to have mostly cloudy skies, some patchy fog to start. And then skies will begin to clear across the area from west to east as we head into the afternoon. And by the evening hours, we have clear skies. We're looking pretty good. Clear skies overnight tonight and clear to start our Friday. Through the day on Halloween, we're going to have a mix of mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. And then later in the evening, especially as you're heading out trick-or-treating, clouds will thicken up. Now, remember what we've talked about with clouds, too. Even though it's not going to be like super warm tomorrow, the clouds help act as a little blanket. They keep some of that warmer air in. So that does mean for trick-or-treating, it's not looking too bad. We'll get to that in just a moment. And as we go into early Saturday, we could get an isolated shower or two early Saturday morning. So these start rolling in a little after 2 a.m. So here we are at 5, Stockton, Nevada, Fort Scott, back towards Chanute. They won't last long, shouldn't add up to much, but we could get a few through the morning hours. And then they'll begin to exit. So you saw about 9, 10 o'clock, maybe Lamar, Joplin, Miami, Monette, Mount Vernon. And by noon, you can see now down to Cassville, Bentonville, maybe an isolated shower or two around the Grand Lake area. But that's really about it. And then the clouds will begin to clear with it, and we'll have partly cloudy skies, eventually becoming pretty decent for our Saturday, although a bit chilly. So we're not worried about any strong storm, severe weather, anything like that, and really just some showers. Not really looking at any kind of thunderstorm activity, period, with that on our Saturday. All right, so you can see if you look, there's just a light haze here from 7th and Range Line. So that fog, again, it's not overly dense, but it is there. We're going to start in the upper 30s. We'll go upper 40s by 11. Our highs today, again, warmer than yesterday, but still below normal. We'll eventually cruise into the upper 50s. Some of our southern counties could go into low 60s. A little further west, if the clearing takes place a little faster, might be a couple of additional low 60s out there, but most of us into the upper 50s, and northwest winds not gusting, just a light northwest breeze at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Clear skies through the evening, down to the mid 40s by 10, upper 30s overnight tonight, west winds 5 to 10. So a pretty decent night, except for the fact it's cold. It's a pretty decent night to sit inside in a sweater, some warm pajamas with a blanket, and just look outside and see how pretty it looks. All right, Halloween. Here's what we've got as you're heading out for trick-or-treating. Like I said, as the clouds thicken up, they're going to do so at just the right time, so it kind of helps keep our temperatures a little milder. It's still chilly. Don't get me wrong. The low 50s are pretty chilly to me, okay? But we'll go mid-50s by 7. Low 50s, 8 and 9 will be cloudy, but otherwise dry. So again, if your tolerance for the cold is like mine, you don't like it very much, might want to add a layer or two under your costume. Or if your costume's already warm enough, then you should be good to go. Not going to be too bad. All right, so low 60s again tomorrow, mid 50s on Saturday, Sunday, low 60s, upper 60s Tuesday. Again, kind of bouncing back and forth on temperatures next week, but we will warm up briefly before another system brings some rain chances Friday, cooler weather next Saturday. Let's check your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Little ghouls and goblins got creative at the Spiva Center for the Arts yesterday. Children ages 2 and 5 dressed up in costumes and made spooky masks and luminaries with their parents. The hands-on Halloween event encourages exploration and creativity through art, movement, and music. The festive celebration gave families a chance to get into the Halloween spirit while creating memorable keepsakes together. At Freeman West Hospital in Joplin, even the smallest patients got into the Halloween spirit. Babies in the neonatal intensive care unit dressed up in costumes, from candy corn to tiny ice cream. The staff also handed out candy and treats to parents, adding a sweet touch to a day.
Oh, those are always so cute when they dress them up for Halloween. They look just adorable. And I'm sure your children will... Well, that wasn't adorable, but I'm sure your children will certainly look adorable for Halloween. I love when it hasn't done that in a while. I'm actually impressed. It has not done that in a while, but every so often it's getting cold, so it doesn't like the cold. All right, upper 30s to start. We've got those cloudy skies, got some patchy fog here and there. We'll start to clear as we head through the morning. Upper 40s by 11 a.m. Into the afternoon, highs below normal, but warmer than yesterday. More sunshine, not nearly as windy. We go upper 50s, and those northwest winds about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Overnight tonight, early tomorrow morning, again, we do have some frost advisories that'll run until 9 a.m. They'll go into effect overnight tonight, so it's going to be a bit chilly. Mid 40s by 10, clear skies overnight, upper 30s for those lows. West winds around 5 to 10 miles an hour. Halloween, we'll break it down more for you in a little bit, but we're going low 60s for the high, back down into the upper 30s, low 40s. Maybe an isolated morning shower on Saturday, mid 50s, not looking too bad Sunday either. We're warming up a bit next week briefly before another cool down by next weekend. That's Check Your Forecast. Got another hour of the KOAM Morning News right after this.